at the Block Studios. And I know Jamie and Mickey are working on that as well. And I'll let them tell you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a big show, so you guys will see it coming up. King
charge
Demetrius is someone who was in our summer cohort. He is a photojournalist here in town, and he is really an interesting story. He runs Listen Media. He started that as a single father with 4 surviving children, 2 that have passed, and he is doing an art show. This is his first art show, and the team around him is his summer cohort. So they all have come in to make greatness. And we have a lot of great news and a great list. We have a VIP event that is ticketed and has quite a guest list. We have quite an RSVP list. It will be one to be photographed at if you are someone who works in civil rights at all here in the city. So if you get a chance to come, I would love to see you. We have open free event. We have 40 live images that will be showcased at that event from The Movement Never Stops. So from his work being frontline, he's an independent, so he is not paid for his services to photograph and tell the story of the front lines in his own voice. He was also the only local African-American press pass that was given for the Chauvin trial. So so anyway, we'd love to see you there.
You brush your teeth and put oil on your face and your lips?
We'd love to see you there. So then let's go on to everybody who's—
And I'm baking cookies.
And what?
And I'm baking cookies for your bake sale.
Oh yeah, we have a bake sale tomorrow. No,
not tomorrow.
Drop off is tomorrow. So I don't know if I don't know how many of you heard that I am putting out a challenge that is the $1 Million Smile, and that is that I'd like to finish a 1-year period teaching some people how to become a 6-figure income and change the trajectory of their families. So we have taken on 6 of the 12 that I'll take on, of teaching them how to build a business that provides them 6 figures of income, and to break the generational poverty that is in their family line or in their community. So we have some of those. One of them is actually here today. So Shakina has offered to come in and change her life with me. So we get to see what's going on for her. And anyway, one of them is also Julie from a store called Junket. And Julie has a very interesting story, but we have an event in South Minneapolis this week, Kitchen, and we have a fundraiser with that, but getting her back in business is kind of critical. So that's what's going on. So with that, I'm going to keep going because Sandy Cleland, you also have some great news. And you are baking for the bake sale as well. Thank you.
Yes, I am. I'll bake my famous brownies. But what I have no great news. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're having another great year.
Okay, so business is really busy, and it's crazy. It's just crazy out there. Yeah. So, but I did get
big news.
Big news. So I did get 3 offers accepted for buyers. So that's pretty great. One of them, she beat out 18 other offers. And another one they offered sight unseen. I mean, it's the Wild West. Sight unseen, 40,000 over. They still haven't seen it. They're going to see it at the final walkthrough. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, just give me a house, right?
Yeah, it's nuts. They're just like, okay, I'm tired of losing. Let's just go for it.
Wow.
So anyway.
Well, welcome back.
That's about it. Thank you.
We are always glad to see you. Mary Sage, wow, another house with big news. Give us your update.
Do I have big news? I don't. I am just plugging along. I feel like there's a big transition that's getting ready to happen, and I'm sitting with what does that look like? And so when I saw the 5-pointed star, I was like, it definitely has like multiple facets, but I'm unclear. So I
Okay,
thought I would hop on this morning, just super last minute. I was like, yes, this feels like the right place to be.
it's the right place to be. It's the right place to be. Do you have any questions for the group on your path here?
No, I'm really just kind of sitting in meditation with it. So I'm just going to kind of feel into whatever's
Well, big
arriving
change.
here. Thank
Big
you.
change is big change. All
Yeah.
right. Reggie,
you.
we've been dying to hear what's new. And we get to see you live. That's kind of
Yes. Well, one thing that's new is I'm able to get up here this time. The last time you had this, I had so many issues trying to get into it, and I had to log out. So it's new that I'm here and on time this time. But the biggest thing for me is just launching some newer apparel that I just had finished, and just trying to figure out the best way to pick your brain on what I can do to build excitement and just do what I consider like a relaunching of my clothing line and stuff like that. So there's just so many questions that I have for you, and I'm writing some things down as we're going along, but I just want to know what would be the best way to connect with you and go over all the stuff here. So
well, I will put my phone number in the chat box. That's as easy as it gets. But I would also enjoy the group. So if you have questions, I would start typing them into the chat box and letting that group respond, because this is a pretty brilliant group of people.
sweet.
So anyway, I'm going to, and then I'm also seeing something here from Brian. So let's go to Brian Kelly. So Reggie, nice to see you again. And if you have pictures of your new designs, these people are thirsty for that. They are thirsty for all of that magic. Brian Kelly, Young Builders.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The time of your life, along with the saddest. So, want to just kind of give you a chance to shout out here.
So, for people in a group who don't know who I am, I run 2 youth programs here in the Twin Cities and also a family ministry. I also run another business online. But in November, on November 28th, the Mounds View and New Brighton police stormed into a building and shot my son in the neck, killing him with an assault rifle. And
oh my
it's
God.
been, yeah. And it's been the most horrifying 4.5 months of my life. He's a second child of mine who's died in my lifetime. My third son died in my arms on Father's Day 16 years ago. A lot of this has preempted the work that I've done, and I've spent 18 years building career exploration and entrepreneurship training programs with youth all throughout the Twin Cities, partnered with some real heavy hitters. So as much sadness, but much greatness is coming. I also hope to honor my son in this. The police have come after children of color, one after the other, after the other, after the other. He was very, very fair-skinned. He was, by visual appearances, he may have appeared as European, but he was a young man of color. And so he had a brand new baby who was 11 months old at the time. So my granddaughter is left without a father. I want this meeting to be engaging and encouraging and positive. So I don't want to spend my lengthwise time.
But I think it's fair for us to all just remind you that we love you.
I appreciate that.
And that we stand with you.
I appreciate that. I mean, Minnesota for me in my whole lifetime as a man of color has been a horrifying place to live. I never imagined that anything like this would happen, but I did know that the stakes were up against every child of color that walked around the streets here in the Twin Cities. And I see it, I mean, over and over and over and over again. So I don't know what the big picture like that looks like. But what I do know is I want to participate in changing that landscape for education, for career readiness, for entrepreneurship training, for young people. And so that's why I do the work that I do. I also want to see families spend time together. So I built a ministry for that. So those are my contributions. Reggie, I'd love to connect with you because I interview professional designers that are working in arenas that create design. Fashion design is one of the regions we work, or one of the trades we work with. Reggie, do you know the guys over at Jaime's Haberdashery?
Keith Dorset.
Yeah. So you know Keith.
Is
I did a
every
workshop. I did a workshop with my youth with Keith. So I had intended to do it annually, but time and energy, I just did it. I did kind of a one-off with him. I'd do it again. It's just time and energy, So,
Right.
but I'd love to connect with you.
Put them in the
personally.
chat box. I mean, this is your chance to
Yep.
connect.
I will. Yeah.
And Jamie has that. But I also want to talk about, Brian, that the text you sent me the other day, which may have just been yesterday, that you have finally figured something out with your offerings. And we've spent a year bantering about this. So, can we give some kudos here?
Yes. Through the.
You want to tell them what was in the text?
Well, hold on. I got to recap.
Oh, he's gonna read it verbatim. Here, right here. Right.
All right.
And it starts out to say, Mickey, you were right. Oh no, it doesn't.
Oh, it says, thank you, Mickey, for your wonderful contribution to the landscape of the work that I do here in Minnesota. Without you, I would be nothing.
No. I'm really looking. That wasn't the part I was looking for. I was really looking for, I finally figured out.
Yeah, no, I just basically finally figured out the perfect price point, the way to deliver my programs. It's taken me a long time. I've worked over and over and over again. And it's ebb and flow, but I think my private industry is the way that I'm going to be successful, because I spent all this time banging my head against the wall with a lot of contracts that weren't really serving my organization well. So I think now we're in a position of where we can offset those by doing a great price point for middle-class kids that can afford the program, So yes, we have finally developed a system that works for our program, price offering, marketing, all those things. So yes, we are at a good place.
And I'm going to back on that. Thank you, Brian. But Jamie had this too, right? What does the contract say? What is my pricing, right? What is my time in this? That a contract, when you're selling a product, isn't just that item. And so what Brian had figured out, right, is what's my pricing? How much of my time does it take? What does the contract say? And he had to be brave enough, and Jamie's been through this too, you have to be brave enough to uphold and walk away, right? That you had a negotiation that you had to walk away from.
Yeah, several. Yeah. Just say, hey, thanks. I mean, I turned down a contract yesterday.
Yeah. To just say, it's not in my best interest.
I'm learning to say no. And I mean, I think that's the biggest, bravest thing you can do is say, hey, you know what? I'm going to accept the contracts that work for my business model, that work for what I want to do, that work for, I mean, this was a contract with, I have three partnerships with the University of Minnesota, and two of them work for me and one of them doesn't. And I just had to tell them, no, but thank you,
No, but thank you. Right.
Yeah. No, but thank you.
No, but
And we
thank
just
you.
move on to the next thing.
That's simple. And I want to give one more point in that is that it was your best March ever.
Yes, yes, in like 10 years. Yeah.
So I'll give them a kudos there. We'll do a group clap. So,
Thank you.
this was a lot of learning. So kudos to you on that. Jamie, I'm going to follow up with you because you have been through that contract piece and you're back. You're back from Paris.
Hello. Yep, I'm back from Paris. Don't think I'll go there again.
Yes, I know. Sorry. I'm sad you're going to write it off, but
it would take a man with a whole lot of money to bring me there and spend every dollar on me. Okay. I won't be back there. But no, life has been good and trying, but it has been very, very good. I have been, well, since we last talked, I bought two trucks.
2 semi-trucks, 2 boats.
2 boats. We opened a new nightclub.
Right.
Well, it's a concert venue. We've had 2 concerts that have been sold out. We have our grand opening on the 22nd and bringing an artist, one of the popular artists right now called Kodak Black.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great.
Yeah, and he's like at one of the top Billboard rap songs right now, and it's called Super Gremlin, but he talks about being a superstars, and our club is called Superstars, so it fits perfectly. I've sold out all 43 of our tables already, except for one $1,000 table. And we have tables from 7,000 on down. So we come in winning in the door. So now we just count 1,500 people at $60 a head coming in the door. Hopefully, cross our fingers that all of them come in the door. But and so in our
and the chef piece, we've got a chef piece that you applied for and got.
I applied for a commercial chef thingy, this film company that films a bunch of stuff for content, and they were looking for a chef. I interviewed for them, so they're flying me to Hawaii next week for 3 days to cook for them and organize and cook for people filming stuff and them and whatever not. And then would say they would continue to use me for other projects, which is cool, is to just pick up 3 days and be able to go to Hawaii. Which is a really, 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 really cool thing. And I have been engulfed this week in taxes, which is, I've always had an aversion to doing taxes, but I've never had to be so intensely involved in it as I've had to be this year, because I'm in a whole different tax bracket. I'm in a whole different amount, just not understanding what can be written off, what cannot be, what I need to put in here, what is tax. Like, it's just all crazy. And so while I'm very happy about like what that number shows, at the same time, like, I'm not happy about what they want me to pay. So thus far. So,
can I respond to that?
Mm-hmm.
As your wealth grows, right? One of the things that's going to be really fun, right? And I lovingly refer to Uncle Sam as Uncle Sugar, right? Because Sugar likes to get paid.
For sure.
For sure. And Sugar, it's everything I'm alluding to, right? That he's going to decide how much and when and how and so forth, right? So Sugar always wants their cut. But what is fantastic about why entrepreneurship is there is that it is different than somebody who has a plain job, right? Because a plain job, Sugar gets paid first. For you, Sugar is going to get paid last. And you're going to get to invest in yourself in so many ways. And you have retirement options that are more than double of what somebody who even has a great paying corporate job can have. So, using those retirement dollars into the max is going to be great, because you're going to end up having to make a choice. Who would you like to pay? Would you like to pay yourself, or would you like to pay Sugar? And this is going to be, I think, one of the things that for all of you who are making great money this year is to really look at those retirement plans and really look at how you compensate yourself. And the other thing is that there's a lot of insurance products out there because you are CEOs of your own companies, that we do have to insure you. And that is also a write-off that can be utilized with insurance. So it's a great time to be able to look at that. And you also this is a different year than the one you're doing, but there's also, these are big pieces of machinery that you're buying, and they have a different kind of tax write-off. So
right. And they're very, everything has been very, just learning, like I insured myself heavily as my me as the CEO of my businesses differently. That was one like big scary move, like, and then thinking about all these things, but it's just a very overwhelming, because on one end, business is moving very fast and I've always been able to make money. That is,
you know how to make money. Right.
That's never an
We
issue.
share that.
Yeah, but the machine that goes behind that money that I'm making and who gets paid and where it goes and what's the best to put it here, it's been very overwhelming for me. This week has it also, what the last month really what has happened is I've also have isolated myself from some people that because I'm looking at this differently. I'm seeing that some people are costing me more being in my life than not being in my life, and just that whole conversation and that whole thing is just I'm just very much like just overwhelmed with as how much it is to do. And you always say, oh, I want the money and I want it to come, but then no one pretty much talks about the machine that goes behind. Now that you have it, what's the machine that goes behind there? I mean, I pulled open my account. I'm used to one of my businesses making $1 million a year. I'm used to that. That's not what I take home, but I'm used to that, right? So I'm used to seeing a certain amount of money go into a business account. What I'm not used to seeing is $30,000 going into my account a month.
Right.
That I'm taking home, that's my paycheck.
Yeah.
And so that's putting me in a very different mindset, and a very different feel, a different type of fear, that now, instead of that fear kind of crippling me, just figuring out, okay, now where do I move into this? Because I desire more than where I'm at right now. So that is that's a whole different thought process. And my son seen my account because I forgot they're linked to my personal account, my kids. And my son was like, Mom, I didn't know you were rich. I'm like, hold on, child. Let me move you guys into account. No, because he got to ask him for all kind of upgrades to cars, and he's changed his where he, like, how he wants to live, and when he goes to college and stuff all of a sudden, and it's how his graduation party now has had added stuff to it. I'm like, no, them are Mom's dollars. Let's count what's in the kid account and not into the. So I took them off too. I isolated them from my account.
Great plan. Great plan.
But yeah, well, so
and here's the other promise that I made to you, right? There's no amount of money that you can make that we can't walk through, right? And there's a mentality here. I think that's also one of the things that has been really fun to watch you grow in this last year, is you are on a really rapid pace. We've kind of talked about how fast can you grow before you start freaking out or whatever, but also the learning curve. You have an amazing 5 years ahead of you, because you'll learn some stuff this year. If we look at 2021 for you, you really learned a lot of stuff fast. And about yourself, about your business plan, about putting in there. We've had 2 great years out of you of really changing the whole way you think about everything. And then, so it's a 5-year place, right? So we're 2 into it. And the next 3 years for you, but 5 total, will be very interesting, and you'll get smarter every year. Think about how much smarter you are than the day I first met you here in class.
Oh yeah, very much so. I think about I always tell people that are new, or that I say, hey, come on and do this, is like, there is not always, I don't need to always understand things. And I will tell you, I'm probably only in an understanding of Mickey World about 30%, but that 30% is good. And each level that I get to, that desire in my number increases. And so my number was to get to, in 2022, getting 30,000 a month in my account. That number now is double that in a month of what I take in. And so like where 2 years ago when I first started, that this is coming in having $1 million business, that still feared me. That still was a fear in how to do that, but where I move it and how it goes and what I'm putting things over here and just the thought process behind it, I approach it in a way of what you said, is that like there's not a number that we can't walk through. So if I feel like there's not a number that we can't walk through, when I get a little bit overwhelmed, I'm like, well, I think we can walk through this too.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's a whole nother mindset. And what you are learning is, right, what are the tools that I have to know at this level and this level and this level? And the other thing that I remind people about is that, 50% of the taxes that are sent into the IRS are incomes that are under $30,000. So when you're looking for financial advice and things like that, you are now in the top 1% of wage earners. And that means that 99% of the advice that's just laying around out there will not be for you. And so it will be important to have great advisors and people who understand how to make money, because the rules are not the same as they are for somebody who is just starting out, who is learning how to make $10,000 a month. And learning to make $10,000 a month is a real skill. It's a real skill. Learning how to make $1,000 a month on your own ideas, on your own skills is the first step. I mean, it was the first step, and we all are somewhere on that line. We're all
Right.
somewhere on that line. So
That's
yeah,
it for
kudos
me.
to you. But
y'all come to King's thing. We got opening night. We're gonna have good
yes.
wine.
We'll have good wine. She got our wine sponsor.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Non-alcoholic wine. And Jamie and I did, we did ask for a sponsorship level yesterday that I'm feeling really good about. But that sponsor, I invited them to the next dinner in Blanc. So if we get it, I might have to have them have a seat at your table. If you're gonna come back to Minnesota.
Yes, we're having Easter Sunday with a twist this year. Big hat, gloves. Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. Okay, let's go on from there. It's always exciting to go into there. We'll go to Rebecca, who also had was in summer cohort. You're having an amazing year. Rebecca,
Hello.
give us your check-in.
Hi. I don't know that I have all that much to share today. I kind of feel like I want to be a fly on the wall today.
You want to be a fly on the wall? Okay. Can I share some of your wins?
Sure.
Okay. So, right. Well, first tell everybody what you do.
So I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I also do meal prep and small catering events.
Right. Which was a huge change from where you were 1 year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's talk about your 1 year, right? You've moved.
Yeah,
you
I moved
yeah. again.
Mm-hmm.
Your business is launched. Your website is up. You
Mm-hmm.
have income every single week that is your own, on your own stuff. You did not have that 1 year ago.
That's true. That is
you were
very
independent.
True. I'm independent. I live in a really sweet little, I don't know if I live in Austin, Texas. I don't know if you guys know anything about the housing market here, but it's insane, including the rental market. And I found this perfect little sweet duplex with a backyard so I can have a garden and everything like that. And I, can afford it, which is a wonderful feeling. And yeah. Oh, Mickey's frozen, I think.
Mickey's frozen. Well, I know that you got some classes going too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I was teaching some classes. Actually, it's so funny. I guess this is a really big win. I'm finally at the point. I've lived here long enough and gotten out enough and done enough networking and also just had enough clients that now I'm starting to get a lot of referrals, both for Ayurveda and for food business. And now I'm starting to get people soliciting me like, hey, come teach classes. So that's a really good feeling. But now I'm just starting to get business, on its own, which is really great. Also didn't have that a year ago. And I don't know.
He's coming back.
Okay, that's good because I don't feel like sharing all that much today.
No,
Hey,
it's fine.
Sorry, I had a power surge.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I shared that I've been here long enough and gotten out and done enough networking and had enough clients now that I'm getting referrals and people coming in, and I'm even getting solicited to teach classes now. So that's a good feeling. Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, did Jamie respond to the meal piece at all?
Mm-mm.
Pretty good, huh? So I think that's good. So again, you guys should again hook up if you haven't. Trade skills. Rebecca needs a sous chef. So she needs a sous chef. Okay, well, glad to see you, but I wanted to just brag on you a little bit because you really are cooking with gas. So yes, you can be a fly on the wall, but you can be a smiling fly.
You'd actually be a butterfly
Okay.
on the wall.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll be a butterfly on the wall.
Oh, Karen Carson wins again. Thank you. Okay, Danny Dixon, you are back from a world-class trip. This was your dream come true. Give us the update.
So as you can see, I'm still in the catacombs. No, Paris was great in about 48 hours. Never doing it more than that.
Yeah, I think you and Jamie were in Paris at the same time, actually.
We missed each other by 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I went to the UK first. I spent some time in London. I got to see Whitechapel, which, if anyone knows me, true crime, which was amazing. But more importantly, I got to talk to my friend who works on an Air Force base in the UK. We spent some time on base and we came up with a program, like the little lending libraries.
Yeah.
But for plants. So when military families move, they leave everything behind pretty much. And you have to leave your plants because they're really hard to transport.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
We are going to, we're going to start with Lakenheath, which is the major Air Force base for the United States in the UK. We're starting with Lakenheath. We're going to put 2 small greenhouses, like lending libraries, out at Lakenheath. And we're going to do a little lending library exchange where you can pick up plants and have them in your little apartment on base, and then you can bring them back there and leave them for the next family. They will go by the teen and childcare centers and schools because the kids can water them on the way in and out of school.
I love this.
And it's helpful because my friend is a teen coordinator on the smaller base. So we're working really hard on getting that started.
Make sure you put your stuff in the lines in the chat box because I think there's people going to have some ideas for you on that as well. So let them know how they can get a hold of you to do that.
I put my email and everything. So
yep, put your email, everything in there. That is fantastic. Okay, Shakina, give us your fast intro here.
Okay, good morning. I'm so grateful to be here amongst all these great people. And I just want to say that I love you and Karen so much. So thank you, Karen, for your happy birthday wishes. So I put my information in the chat. And for my birthday, I am LLCing my business. So that's something that I've got going on either today or tomorrow. I've got 2 full days ahead of me. I have a meeting with a title company tomorrow morning, first thing. We've been in talks back and forth to see about me going the more mobile route. And I started my mentorship with Christine last week. We didn't talk this week. We have all of our stuff scheduled out. So I'm just open to win and earn and increase and grow.
Okay.
All right.
So, Shakina, you want to give everybody what you do?
Yes, so I am, first and foremost, I'm a mobile notary. Well, I'm a notary. And with that, I plan on, being a mobile notary. I'm working on my LLC to do that and within today or tomorrow. And with that, I will do general notary work. I also can notarize things like trusts, wills, apostilles, any type of affidavits or acknowledgements, any type of work that may need to be notarized. And, a lot of things within the notary aspect, but then there are also these things called complementary services, and some services I would like to add to my business would be like permit running, excuse me, a wedding officiant, and fingerprinting. I don't have my notebook in front of me to read everything out right now, but things like that I will share. With our next meeting, I'll be able to be ready to list out all of the things that I'm interested in doing. But I also work as a real estate closing agent at the only BIPOC and woman-owned and operated company in the whole state.
In the state of Minnesota, because not everybody's from Minnesota. So yeah, in the state of Minnesota. And we had a news media piece on you lately. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. I was just in February, I did my first time home buyers workshop. As I had stated in the chat, I'm part of a BNI group. So our lender and our inspector from our BNI group, and myself and a realtor that's a part of another group with our inspector. She's part of NARAB, if anyone's ever heard of them. We did a home buyers workshop for Black women's empowerment and, wealth building. We did that in February and we landed on the news. And so I meet with them tomorrow too. And we're planning on doing another one here coming up next month. Right. So be on the lookout. I'll share that information as well too.
All right. Well, so glad. And there's one more thing. What's the one more thing that I'm going to talk about?
I don't know. You probably know more about us than we do. Oh yeah, my lashes. So I did an event with Mickey. What was that? Last month, about the middle of March, and Andromeda, and was a model for her lashes. I don't have a picture to show, but I'm sure Mickey does.
Well, right. I'm sure we'll find one.
And that was fun and exciting. I think I've only been a model for somebody maybe a couple of times. And so that was really interesting and exciting. And it's always fun to play dress up. So I had a good time.
Well, I have some pictures of you in my class today. So that'll be good. And I have
Can I say, I just have something to say, just something. Yeah. Shakina, I can remember the first time I met you. It was a couple of years ago. It's a very different Shakina than I see today.
Oh.
I see your bright smiling face and you're realizing your potential. I just love it. It makes my heart sing.
Thank you. You have a very big heart and I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I'm going to stop because I get emotional.
Well, that's okay. Crying is allowed at class.
Okay.
Especially when they're tears of joy. Especially when they're tears of joy. None of us are tired of everyone doing well. Ever. So anyway, what I wanted, you came out for the other mothers that were there. You got to meet some of the other people that are in the $1 Million Smile Club. And, people like you have 6 children.
Yes, I do.
You have 6 children and, raising that and changing, and you have really decided to work on legacy, right? I mean, to say, I'm going to do this. And the other thing is that this is our second round of investing in you with coaching.
Right.
So it wasn't just that, it just happened. you have been actively working, coming to class, coming to other things. We've been calling on you for a few years, and it's
Mhm.
really starting to work.
Mhm.
What's the big change right now for you? I mean, why is it working now? Is it that enough has been poured into you? Is it that you're smarter? Is it all of it? Why is it now?
Well, definitely all of it, but I think it's a big part of it is what Karen was saying, like, you get to this point, or at least I got to this point where, I realized, that I'm my value is worth more than I have been putting on myself. So just realizing my potential and wanting to take that potential to a kinetic point. Okay, that's cool, that's there, it's kind of like, it's just, for lack of a better word right now, wasting away. So, what can I do? And just really, staying connected to you, being able to reach out to you if I'm kind of going through a tough time, and being able to get a response from you, and having somebody and somebody's, because I also have other, and they're usually women, that I can call on to help me, like walk through and process, these things, to be able to work through this paradigm shift, because that's where I'm at right now, just shifting.
And it's a team. It's a team.
Yeah.
It's a team
Mhm.
effort.
Yep. It's my
Yes.
favorite. My favorite quote is teamwork makes the dream work, and team stands for together, everyone accomplishes more.
Oh my gosh, you have to write that in the thing. You
Okay.
got to write that in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, say it one more time.
It's teamwork makes the dream work, and team is together, everyone accomplishes more. I learned that when I worked childcare, when my older kids were younger.
I love it. When my older kids were younger.
Yeah.
There's another quote. Okay, Nancy Hall, you are working too. First of all, welcome to class.
Thank you. Thank you. It's fabulous to be here. I can't agree more with everyone who talks about the Karen and the Mickey thing. It's so true. And I'm realizing more and more, I've been dealing with some health issues, but so I haven't been able to be as active as I want. But what I really have been trying to get your help from you two is that the big picture purpose. I have this thing, I always have a different sort of perspective when I see and hear and meet people. I immediately see souls and desire. And I also immediately see lies. And I don't mean, hateful, mean things. I mean how we lie to ourselves about our capability. Just about everyone here who started there to speak to you said, well, I really don't have a lot to say. And then Mickey, you'd explain, oh my God, the amazing things that these people have done. And so anyway, my whole point is, we don't want to waste spirit. And I'm learning that how important that is to me, because that's what I see and feel and hear first. And I want to start a business of some sort, because though money, I have a negative thing, and that's my lie, and that money is greed and wrong in general, or at least it can be. It's a fine line, fine edge to fall into if anyway, I watch it happen too often. And then people get lost in more lies. But anyway, so I really love spirituality. I really love inner reflection. I love the lies that we tell ourselves, because they really are just a reflection of the mirror of the things we're trying to learn and are afraid of. And I see you do it, Mickey, without even using the words that I use. You just pull it out of people and say, yeah, okay, well, let's talk about this thing that seems to be hard for you. And look how far you've come, that kind of thing. But what I've been getting is dreams at night about a television series, and I get the episodes, and so I'm wanting to figure out a way to create a pilot, or maybe this isn't the way. Maybe I just need to do the one-on-one and have people come to me, or groups, and help them see themselves, because I hear the lies, and I have honed my skills, and I know where I begin and they end. That was always a difficult thing for a long time. So I have a great desire to reflect and share the mirror that people often reflect out about themselves. And weirdly enough, though, I come from a background of IT project management. I mean, truly, I'm a geek in some ways, and I have a geology degree, and so I have the greatest, dearest love for animals and the empowerment and animal rights. So I'm floundering with all over the place stuff.
What
And I think
what a pile of gifts to be standing.
I
in.
know, huh?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
An
I only have this
embarrassment of
much time.
riches, Nancy. An embarrassment of riches.
I only have this much time on this earth, and I really got to get focused. And so that's why I'm so impressed about everybody here. You guys are all so focused and going to do that which matters to you. So anyway, that's my story, guys. That's what I got.
It's going well. Please put your ideas of those things and the things that you need about that pilot. I would put into the chat box.
Okay.
Because we can see if anybody here has some ideas on that.
Okay.
This is a brilliant group of people. So, you know, ask the questions that you have in that chat box. People answer. They really do.
Cool.
So we're glad to see you, and I'm glad to see you well.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you well.
Good to be here.
Makes me happy. Donna McCurdy, how are you?
Good morning, everybody. I too would just love to be a butterfly on the wall, but I know that you don't get away with that in this group. If you sign up, you might as well just you gotta show up.
Well, you've got a lot going on. You've got a lot of personal growth going on.
Oh, well, I mean, that is my, yes, that is my modus operandi. And so, yes, that my foundation is just simply personal growth. I do dream work. And I haven't had a ton of dreams lately. And I had a dream. Oh, let me just one second. Did you know that they make staplers that are, you can staple, you can take a piece of paper and make a booklet, your own booklet. This is only $25. And
oh
so,
my gosh, this is life-changing for everyone who has classes.
Because now each dream has its own booklet. So each dream can be its own booklet because I have a stapler to do that. Because otherwise it's been separate pieces of paper. I wasn't going to talk about that.
I can see Danny Dixon physically drooling at the thought of this. And same with Shakina. Shakina is probably thinking of an art project right now.
Why did I not have one of these 30 years ago?
Because they didn't make them.
So I found one at a thrift store not that long ago. And my mom literally stole it from me and bought it. And I'm like dying for my birthday next month because that's what I get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
does Janet Mills have one of these? I don't know.
Well, you know where I got the, so a friend of mine.
I do not, and I must have one.
Sold out today.
I just got it at a not a Staples, but the other one. So a friend of mine gave me this book. It's a drawing book called How to Make Inky Wonderlands. And it is just the perfect book for me, but it says in there, you know, don't be too precious with your drawing. And that has been a real tough one for me. It's like I have this beautiful sketchbook, but to take a page in the sketchbook is, it's a huge mental process of like, no, I cannot take a whole precious page in a sketchbook. But then if I just use a piece of paper, then it's, there's pieces of paper everywhere. So now with my stapler, I have little journals. And then I have other skills that I'll be able to put them together if they are worthy. You know, it's like, oh, I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
We love to edit. We love to edit.
Filter and edit.
Yeah. Well, we are always so glad to see you. Please don't forget to tell people who you are before we get on to class.
My name is Donna McCurdy. I have a business called Nido Tree Playful Art. And the first business venture is called Soccer Birds. And you can see in the chat, let's see, I'll just press enter, that you can follow on Instagram at Soccer Birds, or the books. I have coloring books that are available on Amazon if you search for Soccer Birds, one word.
Good. And then for those of you who have Instagram handles or something like that, please give us those so that we can share with each other. whoops, I am going to stop share and get the right page. So everyone, thank you so much for your stories and for doing the work. I mean, this is amazing. People ask me about this class all the time, and I tell them, like, you can't believe it. You just can't believe how many awesomeness there is right here. It's kind of shocking sometimes how amazing all of you are. It's kind of fantastic. So if you are not on the NW2 mailing list, or if it's not coming in, please put something in the chat box so we know, because there is a video that this was inspired by that I think is really helpful to do. And then we also have other things that go with that. Today's conversation is The Star Has Commerce. And as presented, right, this is business direction for the people who are not so basic. And are you willing to not be basic? And I do want to just give a shout out to Shakina for some of these images. And we've got some images of you classmates here. So feel free to pipe up. This is the combination of two summer themes that we have. We do have a summer theme that will be coming. It will unveil on the first day of summer, and it is a little bit fantastic. For those of you who don't know who Randy Jackson is, that's a name to write down, but that is who has the interview that inspired today's talk. Just another way for us to kind of think about that. A star, again, will do everything to get to their dreams, and that is your piece. When we look at those of you who are willing to go to greatness, it is that you will do the work. And it is work to do that. And it's also helpful. But I think the one thing that I remind everyone about is that is how precious your creativity is. And this is a really creative bunch. So that it's not just an art form, right? The creativity for all of you, it is the kindling to your fire. It is charm and delight, and it's how you are going to capture your future, and that don't take it for granted, but invest in it. It is the well that is there. We had someone on the phone the other day talk to me about that their parents were really telling them, don't share so much at work about your great ideas because they might steal it. And she went, so what if they steal it? I'm a well, I'm never going to run out. If somebody takes one idea, I've got 10,000. And that is true of creativity, that you are the well. You will come up with another and another and another and another. So think about the compelling you. So it's operating those great ideas and that creativity that's actually the difficult part. It is not the creative piece, but we count on this for you to be able to keep your well full so that you can stay ahead of the pack. Journaling is one of those things that I really recommend for everyone. Something called Morning Pages. For those of you who don't know that book, I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the chat box while we're here. But understanding I think it's called The Artist Way, and understanding the value of morning pages, and understanding also that author. That journal prompts for you are stars come back even better. For those of you who have failed and fallen down and really struggled to get here, I would go back into the down times and really look at how you overcame them. And I would also look at how they are going to influence your business decisions today. There is always a piece of strength that will start to lead you. And I would go back and do that. So here's your journal prompt. This is a great time to just screenshot this. So anything that you have in today that's very interesting to you and you don't want to lose it, or you don't want to wait for the whole video to come out on YouTube, this is your chance. Just screenshot this page for yourself for later. When we look at the second journal prompt, please just read the words on this page of the song and imagine everything that comes up in your mind. And you are welcome to put in the first time you cried to this song in the chat box, because I haven't met a person yet that hasn't had this particular song inspire them. And all I have to do is put in these words and you all know it. When we look at the journal prompt that's also from today, right, is I had to get somewhere, right? I had to get somewhere as a driving point. This song was written from that point, that there was a driving force in all of John's actions that led to having another conversation. It's not just the time of the world at that time when he wrote that song, but he really meant it. And he really decided to use his creative efforts for the power of good. And so I would think about this journal prompt for yourself is really writing from that story. And again, everyone is loving when you put into the chat box because they get it instantly. But the question that I have originally is, right, are you willing to not be basic? And so that's another way to look at the work that you're creating. And we're going to give you some measurement tools today of being willing to, many of you have been willing to come with me on a journey of craziness and thinking differently. And it has paid off for you. And it has paid off for me because you're all so amazing. So here is our outcome for today, is to really self-define how to be a star or have a star product. This is a picture that I took of one more place in the world that was an opportunity of where you could stay. And this is just another wreck of a place that you go, really? They have people that come here, right? Do not live here. So when you think about creativity, how do you think about things differently? And one of them is, how do you make money on a place that is in complete disrepair that you can't utilize? And that is that you make it available for photographers to take scary pictures, right? Don't live here. So creativity is always there. And the first part is that, right, your dream is possible. This is a picture we used for Superhero Summer. For those of you who are new here, we have a summer theme that I put out that is a creative boost for everyone. But it's, again, right, finding new ways to think about how you're going to lead your product. And today I would really write your own name tag, hello, and your name is Star. And when we look at what is that, I started doing a funny thing about 10 years ago before Randy Jackson put out this concept, but it is really, I started making all of our dinner reservations under the name Star, just for fun. And they go, oh, are you Star? Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sure I am. So if you want a fun thing to do, you can just start leaving all of your dinner reservations under the name Star. You're going to want to define today your star by your commerce. And when I talk about points on the star, it's very different than those of you who have been trained in the star model that I teach. This is truly around really kind of thinking about that rock star, thinking about things that are provocative. How do we bring it into the market? How do we really have a product that is stunning? And thinking about how many points you have on that star. And so no star has 1 point. That's called a unicorn. So when we think about, we're not looking for a unicorn, we're looking for a star. A star has markets. They have partial products that they can lead with, or add on. They have introduction products, and they have new markets. So when you're thinking about what you have, you don't just have a unicorn, right? You have many different ideas. When we look at Danny's ideas that she's presented around plants, she's given us at least 100 different ways that she can look at and market her love of plants. When we look at some of the other people here, right, you have so many different ideas that can be applied in different areas. So I think about that is, right, what are the points on your star? And when we look at producing you, there's no joke here. When I look at producing you in general, that I have to think like a producer. And a producer means that we've got to find you. We've got to discover what your skills are. Then you have to shape them and actually produce those skills and then figure out how to monetize. You are your own producer. And when you look at that challenge, it is, right, and how did you get here? Well, we found you because other great people found you, that you're not here for no reason. You are already someone of value, someone who has ideas that are valuable. Everyone that you will meet in these groups is someone who does have not just charm, but they actually have talent, and they are all asking the same question, right? How do I capture that? How do I find out what my thing is? How do I discover what is going to amplify? How do I shape that? How do I keep it into a product? And how do I monetize that? So this is another one where you might want to just screenshot this image so that you can think about that as a producer. That is the role of a producer, and someone who is going to find the talent, discover what they really do, shape them, produce the product, and then monetize that. And it is an effort. When you look at a star is compelling, they're interesting, and they're something that people notice. So here is an image from my life, because, right, this is dried up paint by the side of the road. It's interesting, right? You can kind of look at this picture and go, oh, wow, what is this? Right? It's interesting. You could kind of maybe tell that I'm at a gas station. You might not be able to tell that I'm in the driest part of the desert in New Mexico, right? But this isn't something, right? It wasn't monetizable, right? How do I go away and travel and take pictures for fun and live my life and monetize it? And this is where we came up with Workaway. And so it is looking at that other part as a producer, is to go, how do I take me stopping by the side of the road, taking a picture of my reflection in New Mexico, right? How do I take it into something that's compelling, interesting, and something that people will notice? And then how do I monetize it? Right. So if you're looking at my goals next year, you're seeing them right there. Cute is not a game plan. That a lot of you have cute ideas, cute stuff, but cute is a tactic, and it is something that wins. This happens to be taken at a store of another set of superstars that we have, the girls from the store I Like You, who also, when I told them that they were going to make cute into $1 million business plan, they went, what? They needed a strategy and they needed an audience. So think about, right, what is the tactic? Some of you have a tactic would be LinkedIn, a tactic would be Instagram, a tactic would be, right, how are you using your social? But that social needs a strategy and it needs an audience. So when you're thinking about your star quality, you need to think about the tactic, the strategy, and the audience. This is another one that I would just screenshot so that you can take that with you as your lesson. Again, words on the page. Points to first person in the chat box who can tell me what this song is from. Anybody know it instantly? Just throw it right into the chat box. That's right. Reggie, you are the winner, right? Annie. Everybody knows this song. So you can be of anywhere to see this, but it's a catchy concept. And when you start to look at that, that's what we're looking at, something that is easy to get to. So when you look at this, I would think about your star players. And those are people who really get your concept. Here's your screenshot that you can take, because that's your homework, is the 10 people who not just can sing your song, but they can believe in your dream. They have a vested interest in your success. Some of you have children who have a vested interest, a partner, a mother, a brother, a business person, right? Who has a vested interest in your success? These can be business players, these can be partners. I'd love for you to put in the chat box who are the people that have a vested interest in your success besides my name. But start writing down who has a vested interest in your success. And kudos to who gets the first piece there. Right, I was gonna say, Shakina's like, I got it. So when you think about that, I would just put it in the chat box, right? Who has a vested interest in your success? And we'll just wait to see who gets the first answer here. Right, myself, right? You, your boys, right? Start putting them in there. That I was gonna say Mickey, right? It's true, but your husbands, your investors, right? Just keep piling them in there, right? Your spiritual plans, right? Children, friends, you all have business partners, your community, right? Your pastor. These are real people, your ancestors. Thank you for adding that. That is so critical. Your friends. But again, right, people want to invest in you. These are the people who want to see you succeed. And so think about them as you are a star. When you go to that, right, these are people who are attached to you, and they are attached to you because of who you are. Your future cohorts, the people that are here, right? Your past selves. I love this. And I would also think about those business owners, the people that are attached to you that want to see you grow. And that you need that list. You need that list of who is going to be here, and who is that, and how do you get them to work? We do have a beautiful picture here of someone in group. Thank you, Sandy, for being here. This was from Superhero Summer, another summer theme. But again, it's how does your creativity pay you? And that is, I think, one of the biggest pieces of every star-powered anything, is that you've got to be creative. And that is the well that you want to look at. So when you're looking at your own creativity, it is to say, right, how is your creativity paying you? And what can you add to that? It isn't just doing something creative. It is that availability of putting your ideas to work for you when you feel like you don't have any. And yes, here is a photo of one of my grandchildren. This was quite a few years ago, but right, can you show up as your inner child? Can you show up without all of the emotional garbage about, are you doing it right? Can you show up and just be glad that the world invented goggles on a summer day, and even though you are sweating and your things are fogged up, boy, am I going to just wear those goggles, right? That we all have our inner child self, and that is the joy of it. That's the joy of star power, is that you just can't wait to be there. And then there's the other part, right, where we have to be quiet and we have to be within ourselves, and we have to learn endlessly, right? We have to be willing to do the work, to do the smarts. And each point on your journey as a star will have a whole new set of things to learn. So if you're dreaming that there's a top side where you get to just put your feet up and not think about a thing, that's called a vacation. But creatives don't ever stop creating, and they don't ever stop learning. So when you think about that embarrassment of riches that lies before you, it truly is, right? That you are constantly of a curious nature, of someone who is enthralled and spellbound and transfixed by creating and learning, by learning new things so that you can create even more. And so when we think about what are you willing to learn endlessly, I would just start writing it down. If you do not have an answer for this, that's the screenshot I would take, because that's your homework, right? What are you willing to learn endlessly about? This is my artist name is Prosperity Habit. That's what I also create under. But art is a tool that is really there, right? It can take all of that crazy neurotic energy that you have, and it can create something, right? If any of you look on my website, some of you will see pictures of yourself there, or if you look in videos and other things, it is, right? If I pour into you, you become that expression of creativity, that all of you do something totally different. All of you play in so many ways, that your life is expanded by knowing each other, right? So stars create, that when you look at what you want to create, it's not just, hey, I made this one book, or hey, I wrote this one thing. They are creating in a multitude of ways. I think that is the future I want you all to speak to, is the future that you want to speak to is that you get to create in any way that you want, that you create, and knowing that creation is also a form of release, that you can actually release that neurotic energy by expressing in all of these ways. It's the time to move forward. This is a quote that I made during Superhero Summer, but it is no 0 days. It is really looking at, right, that you will commit to yourself, and that's the deal that you have to make to be a star. It's the deal that you have to make, that there are no 0 days, that there are no days that you will let go by without working on your dream. So if you are thinking about what does the 0 day look like, or if you've got a project that's sitting there again, and you're now 5 years from that dream, 10 years from that dream, 20 years from that dream, 30 years from that dream. I've met people who have been 65 years from their dream. And it's because a 0 day is easy to let in. And it's saying, look, I'm going to have no more 0 days, that I'm going to do something every day that leads to a target. And we've had other classes on defining the target versus a goal. My target for all of you is the same, right? Is to be well within. How can you be well within? Your target for you as a creator may be, right? How do I stay well within and create? But you've got to define your target, not just a set of goals or not a set of tasks. So looking at what is your target? For those of you who have seen the pictures of Andromeda's, right? We have a target for her to be shown at Black Fashion Week next year with her eyelashes. So we had to be able to go every day. I have to set it up so I can hit that target. I can practice what that is. So Shakina got to be at a photo shoot where we were, for the first day, we had to see what it would look like for her to be applying, to have makeup, to have wardrobe, to have all of these things in with the skills that we had. Let's practice, let's play. And what we came out with was she's like, I can't believe it. I feel like a star. That's right. That's right. You have to practice being a star. You have to dress like a star. You have to decide what your star looks like. And so that you can see it, you can be it, you can build it. It is your future. This is Nancy Lindgren. One of my favorite photos of her, this is from Superhero Summer. There it is, right? Second star to the north. That's my star. You have to be able to see it. You have to call out to it. And what that means for you is you have to tell your clients, you have to tell your partners, you have to tell the people around you where they should be looking. The sky is full of people like you. It is full of people like you. There are a million coloring books in the world, but when we go back to Donna's product, it is the only one like it. It is the only one that is non-gender. It is very interesting to when we suddenly see that, right? There it is, the second star to the north. That is my star. And when we look at the concepts that you have to let people know how they can see your special light and your special way to do that. So we do that through testimonials. We do that through talking about it. We do that through your talking about how you express. It's very different. This is a text that I got from somebody the other day, from some advice that we gave them, right? Sometimes I go out on a limb and I will say to somebody, you're doing it totally wrong. If you would just please, if you could just change the way you look at this, it will change. And this is someone who I kind of wasn't easy on them. If for those of you who have who remember Kathy from Everything Beautiful, this is not her text, but the day that I made her cry and told her that everything she just handed me was crap and I'd like her to redo it. And she went, oh, and she was so mad at me. But then we won an award for top in the nation for the design work that we did. And she went, I'm so glad that you were willing to tell me what I thought was my best work was crap and that I should go back. And this was from someone else where I just said to her, this is not compelling. This is not a star quality. Even in the group of the show that we're doing with King, that he put out the first 100 images and I sent him back to the drawing board with the same conversation of this is not compelling. Bring me back a star quality. He comes back with another set of pictures that are stunning. It's unbelievable. I've never been prouder of him. So when you are looking at people who are going to say to you lovingly, right, when you look at those star partners, you want someone who will tell you lovingly and thoughtfully that it's not good enough. And that you'll take it back and that you'll go back and be better. And in this case, this was a $20,000 conversation for her. And when we look at that, it changed the way that she did a lot of things. So sometimes you guys being together in class, it's not just the class that's here, it's the stories of each other. And it's how you will change your friends so that they can change you. And that is a powerful piece, and taking it on. When you look at a star, it's really, are you comfortable with both humility and acknowledgement? This is being very careful. I'll use Jamie, and who's probably going to respond to this. Every time you give me a compliment, I'll sometimes go, she goes, why do you do that? And I'll remind her that the compliment she's giving me is actually the one that belongs to you sometimes, right? There's this piece of acknowledgement and humility that you didn't get here alone, that nobody learns how to do this alone, that when you look at the amount of people who are pouring into you, it is not just that I'm still Jenny from the block. Jenny from the block is never going to not acknowledge that she is great, that she has worked her tail off, but she's also going to do that with being comfortable with her own humility and her own acknowledgement. of being acknowledged for the work that she is doing and being acknowledged for the people that poured into her openly, and being willing to do that for others. So sometimes when you think about that 10 list of who are your star partners, it is also constantly reminding yourself that you didn't get here alone, and that it's no fun to stand here alone, that this is a lot more fun. It's, forever clever to have, to be able to crush it with your sparkling crusted glitter soaked vulnerable self, as well as, that person who's standing in courage. So be willing to do those. This is a starting point I use a lot for you, which is, right, where are you going to showcase or share or stake your star status? This is from this is a theater in, this picture is a theater in Chicago that somebody was brave enough to redo. And so I went to a party that they had, and they were able to walk into this theater, and I said, what made you do this? And this person worked for a lot of years to redo this theater. And I said, what made you do this? And she said, well, I knew that I wanted this big deal Bravo moment. And I just kept dragging people in here who could see that same moment with me. What a powerful place, right? So when you think about what you're doing and who are your partners, you have to bring them into your theater. You have to bring them in to being able to name that big deal Bravo moment and say, who can stand in here with me? Who can see it and taste it and smell it and be there exactly with us? This is actually why Jamie-Ann bought a nightclub, right? She could see it. Everyone around her had to be able to see it. What's your rock star moment? Another thing that stars have in common is they're born ready. Now, it doesn't mean they were born that they were born fearless, but they were born ready. Your time is right now, I did not buy these shoes, by the way. I do regret not buying these shoes, but these were in a thrift store in Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas for a very troubling trip that I was trying to take my mind off of it. My son was looking at 12 years of prison time as his 21st birthday, oops. And we were getting ready to go to court, and I had to do something to take my time off of what was going on. And my son and I were in a thrift store before going to the judge. And I saw these shoes and I thought, wow, isn't that something? And it's funny how we have these moments that are our scariest times. And I looked at him when I saw these shoes, and he's like, oh, no, no. And I said, you know what? There's going to come a day that you and I are going to look at this pair of shoes. I didn't buy them. I took a picture of them. But you and I are going to look at these shoes one day. We're going to remember this day and how great your life is going to be, because your time is now. 12 years of prison isn't your future. And we will work hard to make sure that that isn't there. But you have to decide that you're going to change your life, right? So for you, whatever that picture is, right, you're going to have to define the time that is right for you. The time that the things that you're going to produce are going to be seen, right? So when you think about that future, I do want you to know your time is now. No matter how many obstacles are there, your time is here. A star is going to make an adjustment. Here we are with another piece of Shekinah, all these hands on her. Right?
Those are my hands.
Huh? Oh, are those your hands? Whose hands are those?
It's me, Janet.
Oh, those are Janet Mills' hands right
Oh,
there.
I was gonna say Sandy was there that day too, and
Sandy
probably
was
Nancy
there.
too.
Well, that manicure does look like possibly
Yeah.
Sandy's, right?
Yeah, those are my fingernails, yes.
Those are your fingernails, right?
Nice.
And here it is, right? Shakina, what was one of the biggest lessons that we were learning that day on you?
Oh wow, that was a couple of years ago. I don't usually like the camera or taking pictures and stuff, and I think everybody just kind of helped me, with that to relax and to settle in it, and again, just to kind of go with the flow and have fun.
Right. How to be seen was the lesson, right? That it was about just showing up, and you said it again at the last photo shoot we were at, right? That you went, oh, right. You had all the self-talk that was negative. And what was it that you told me when you showed up?
Again, you probably remember more than I do. Remind me.
Well, it was, I'm just going to show up.
Oh, yeah, because we were supposed to be doing something else. Yeah. And I said, I just want to show up.
And we love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
Right. I'm just going to show up and let it be, right? That was really hard worked for, right? To just show up and know we would take care of you and that you would shine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, and those pictures from that day, how did you like them from the eyelash shoot?
Oh, they were different because I don't usually, dress up like that, get really fancy, only on special occasions. And so it wasn't quote unquote technically a special occasion, but it was special enough. And I walked around. I don't know if I have really talked to you from that point on, but Sunday's my gym day. And it was so nice that day. I decided to go walk Lake Calhoun, and I didn't wash my face till that night. So I went to walk Lake Calhoun, went to, I think London Byerly's, whatever store is right there. I went and got like fruit and water and stuff first, went grocery shopping at Hy-Vee afterwards. And everybody looked at me. I told my husband, like, I know everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. I had even sent my picture to a couple of people, like I'm walking around like this all casually. So I got on like gym clothes. And then this, as I say, there's a really beat face with these special eyelashes. And the young man that worked the register at Hy-Vee told me I looked really pretty. And he said, I love those lashes. And so I, kind of gave him my little spiel for the day or whatever. And he said, well, you look really nice. And I was like, well, thank you. You're the only person that, I wasn't looking for people to say anything, but it was just the reaction to most people's faces were just like, what is this lady doing?
They were stunning. They were stunning. So for those of you who aren't on my Facebook page, you can see them. You can just go to my Facebook page and see them. They were stunning and literally studded in dots of magic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do just a temperature check. Are you getting this concept as a group? Yes, you can just shake your head, raise your hand, give us a comment. Is any of this landing? Okay. Okay. Any key points so far that you have that you went, oh, wow, that's my point? All is landing. Right, all is landing. Okay, put your comments in the comments section. I'm going to go back to screen sharing because we've got a lot in here. So for those of you who are willing to play with me, thank you so much. When we look at adjustment, a star makes adjustments. Did I spell ideate right? Is that right? Ideate? Yeah, so we'll see how we do. It never amazes, it doesn't stop amazing me how many things I can spell incorrectly. But when you look at a star is going to make adjustments, right? They're going to change the way they think about things. They're going to test first. This picture right here, for those of you who are understanding Tom's shoes, this was a challenge for the designers. So the designers had to really rethink the way that they were doing design by using materials that were recycled, that they were looking to change their impact environmentally as a company, and how do they showcase what they have? And so this was one of their challenges. So if you, this was what the designers had come up with. And if you look at it, it's just cord, and it's cord that they use in something that they do that's happened to be the same color as some of their shoes. So they made them look like ballerina slippers and hung them in their big shopping space in the Mall of America. And that conversation, right, was changing their ideas about shipping around their footprint and the ways and places that they could reduce their carbon footprint. The other thing that I talk about is test first, right? For those of you who are creating product, it's really test it first before you make a million of them. Tom's Shoes did a lot of that. They tested them by, really bringing them to another country and seeing if they actually held up as a daily wearable shoe, and then testing if someone would buy them and what would make someone buy them as a compelling offer. So, right, create the marketing to, and the offer, create a secondary offer, and then you create the product. For those of you who are building actual products, you want to learn the gracious art of testing before you create the actual product. So test, test, test. So when you look at adjustments or I design ideas, or I have this t-shirt, you're going to do that to a test audience before you create 10,000 of them, right? So create, going back to those 10 people who are supporting you, test the concept with your team, see if it's going to go to that, test it with your customer base, and then bring it to market. That is the largest money saving offer I can give to everyone. Money, time, commitment, all of it is to figure it out in your mind and then propose it. If it doesn't sell, it wasn't for you. We've had a lot of people create classes that no one's going to buy. Again, right, as you can tell, I had some time with sheet music. I took a picture of this one. How many of you know this song? And if you actually know the name of the song, please put it in the chat box. Points to the first person who knows what this is, right? It is a song, there you go. Danny Dixon wins it. And she often wins trivia, right? It's the, and of course, it's the Pina Colada song, right? It's a Pina Colada song. If, I may have doomed you to having it here, right? But how many of you, and you can put it into the chat, right? That you remember a time or a place or something that you've been singing that song. Perhaps you were having a pina colada, or perhaps you were in a beautiful sunny space because it's played so many places, right? But when you look at this, it is catchy, but it also has a piece of compelling storytelling. And you are a storyteller. So when we look at your products, when we look at you as a brand, when we look at that, you've got to think about your compelling offer. A lot of times I'll do stuff and just go, hey, do you want to do this with me? And so this particular item was a compelling offer I did a few winters ago for unicorn snow tubing, right? That I had to go, who doesn't want to do it, right? So basically I sent out a text, meet me on the hill, it's at night, fresh snow, I'll text you that I bought all of these unicorn snow tubes and said, here's what I want to do. I don't have the day, I got to wait for a snowfall. Do you want to join me? I'll put you on the text list. We'll be doing it at night, at 10 o'clock at night. Do you want in? And then basically at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the day of it, I sent everybody out a text, and they met me on a Theodore Worth Park Hill, and we went snow tubing on these giant pieces, right? It is a compelling offer. And did it make me money? No. But does it support the brand? Absolutely. So sometimes you have an offer that is leading to the brand itself. And the brand for me would be like, let's go goof off, I guess. But right, it's a classic Mickey moment, right? Of let me introduce you to play with me. Let me introduce you to live the life that you have more fully, to just be willing to play and meet me on the hill, right? Meet me on the hill. When you're thinking about your own events, right, you want to think about what is the compelling offer and how does it bring back to the brand. For those of you who are creating product, right, offers have layers. So when you're thinking about what you're building, if you're building a class, if you're building a bar, if you're building plants, if you're building classes, it doesn't matter. They all have offers. And sometimes that offer is to answer your email, right? Sometimes it is, the offer is free. It's easy. You can just easily taste into it, right? Can you join my newsletter? Will you open my newsletter? So, you know, in order for Sandy to be where she is, she had to have people who would take the offer of just being willing to open her email, right? Or something that is low cost. Sandy had to figure out how to do a mailing, right? This is a low cost, low time effort. They can just read it. So when you think about those offers, you're inviting people to what you have, right? Then you have things that are low cost, more time. You have medium time or special offer. I'll go back to Sandy's offer every year for her clients, right? Let me celebrate Thanksgiving with you. Tell me what kind of pie you want. This is part of the Sandy legend, right? We talked about at the very beginning of this, that we have a bake sale that we're raising money for the Evansville Art Center. And we're also helping building someone else's business plan, right? We're combining layers of offers. And Sandy goes, I'm making my famous brownies, right? Because that's her thing, right? It's an offer that it is something that free that they can just opt in. She's going to hand them handmade brownies. What an offer. What an offer. So when you're thinking about what you're offering, I think the place that all of you have room to grow, and this is another one I would just screenshot with your phone, is really looking at those special offers or those limited time events. Reggie, when I think about your product, I would really think about that special offer. I would think about your mailing list, is that you have something, you have so many creative ideas and offers. I think this is where we can really invite people to buy directly from you, direct to customer, right? D, the letter D, T, C, direct to consumer. And really just go, here it is, here's the special offer. This is the spring shirt. This is the summer shirt. This is what I'm putting out over the next 2 weeks. You can take those orders and then print them. So you can put out the offer with the design. You can take all the orders and the money, and then you'll have the money to actually build them. So, hey, we're going to drop this on this date. Give yourself 30 days to have the product made. People can put in a pre-order, and then you have all of the money, all the shipping, all of the money in your pocket instantly. So offers have layers. And you want those layers, exactly what Brian said, right? He had to stop saying no to offers that weren't there and start saying yes to offers that had smaller amounts of time and larger pieces of money, right? So Brian was like, hey, I have all these offers. Some of those offers are with the same companies, but they have to work in my favor. Offers have layers. And when we think about your offers and we think about those layers, think about multiple offers, think about different markets. You're going to be making products in different markets. The reason that Brian had such a great March was because he was able to give his offer to different markets. And it didn't take away from his primary goal of the brand, but by opening offers to multiple markets, he could have enough cash flow where he could offer to his primary goal better. So when you think about multiple offers, right, what I want you to be able to do today, and this is your screenshot on your phone, is, right, what are the new markets in there? If you have new markets that you're looking at, pop them into the idea box. I think actually a lot of you have different markets that you're thinking about for each other. So I would definitely just put that person's name. So if you've got ideas on the plant thing, send that in for Danny. If you have ideas for Nancy on her products, put it into the chat box. That I think that's a place where you guys can really look at it, right? So when you look at those offers from Jamie, and right, she's talking about when people come to my infused dinners, I offer them perks, right? A bag, something that they can do that. And what is she doing? When you look at those offers, start putting it in there. So I'm going to put one into the chat box right now, right? When you think about this, right, we had this with Sandy, right? When we look at, right, consider a younger offering, right? If you're offering something to an adult, what would that look like in a child version? So I want you to put those 3 new markets into the chat box, and I'm just going to wait for you guys to start typing, right? Getting all my lists, right? Getting on all my lists. On my lists get you 25% off. That's a great offer to say, hey, if you opt in, right? This is a low cost opt-in. It's free. It is really another tool. Keep typing in what your offers are. We want to see them into the chat box. I think Mary Sage, this is a really great one for you, is to either ask people to help you with an offer or to put into what you're doing. The making a time commitment. Also, I love this one, paying a deposit within 24 hours gets you a percentage off of your contract, right? That's going to get that contract signed. And that's what I mean about it has to have something to say. Another thing about star offers is that not all cakes look alike, right? We have these everyday opt-ins. You guys came based on an everyday opt-in. Some of you just came at last minute. You're like, oh, I've got a minute. Let me opt in, right? I saw it. Let me opt in, right? We get more if we're on the email list. Let me opt in. It's those daily opt-ins that are always everyone's. That's why they're called bread and butter offerings. That's why they're called bread and butter clients, right? Not all cakes look alike. Look for your everyday opt-ins, right? Here's a picture you've already seen today, right? Think about this word as repeatable. I added it in again for that reason, right? You are looking for things that are repeatable. You've already seen this image. Your brain knows it's already seen it. That lesson right there for you of just watching this screen, right? You already went, oh, I saw that picture again. That is your marketing goal. The fact that you could recognize that you already saw this picture one time, the fact that you could recognize that it was me, the fact that you know it's the art, the fact that it's here, that repeatable concept is how fast it can work. It's how fast it can work. I want to go to takeaways. This is one I would screenshot as well, because it is your homework. But I would look for your takeaways. We're going to go to takeaways for the rest of our time together. But I would think about this is what are your customers and your fans? Because people are fans of you. If you think about how much talent is here today, right? Today is going to be a star of a day. When you think about just how interesting it is to be with the other people in this class, right? They're already your fans. You come sometimes to see what everyone else is going to say. You already have fans. Think about what are the possibilities that your fans are going to take away from you. Think about what you're delivering by showcasing what you have. So think about how you're going to showcase that. Many of you love to hide when I ask you, like, what have you been doing all month? And you're like, I don't have anything. And it's always lies. It's always never true. There's always things that you've been doing. So again, right, build that showcase, build that showcase. All right, here's your cheat at the end, right? A star is known for the fact that they have skills and that they can execute on a moment's notice. You've got to keep your skills available to utilize instantly. If your skill, like this little girl, is being adorable, right, and fun and funny, right, she can do that at a moment's notice. So think about what you can execute on a moment's notice. There is never a day that we're going to walk into a store with Rebecca that she's not going to tell me something better I could be eating, right? There's never a day that Rebecca's not going to know how to fix something for me in my health profile. There's never a day that there are things that you can't tell me how to do better. Think about your compelling set of offers. That's the big takeaway today. And then the big takeaway is repeatable products. When we look at Reggie, right, he's learning from every product he builds, right? He knows how to do it. He knows his time. He knows how to get it forward. The other thing that we should take away that I think we've seen really well is multiple selling markets and price points, right? Why did Jamie and buy, you know, she's cooking for people, but now why is she building these other items, right? What you're seeing in her is exactly this: multiple selling markets and price points, and then, right, moving up the ladder. How do we move that up so that they can buy in more than one way on more than one day? And again, the thing I want you to think about is the adjustments section. How do you make adjustments? I hope you took a screenshot of that. We can always go back to it if we need to. Remember, right, this was our outcome for today. I hope I made it. I hope that you are able to define, and we're about to find out, of what is that star product. And for those of you who were in that $1 Million Smile Club, this is Andromeda's baby that I took a picture of when she wanted me to see his eyes, so she decided to wake him up, and this is his face. This was Sunglass Summer. But again, right, you are the star. You're the star in every part of what you are doing. So with that, I'm gonna call you out one by one on what you're taking away. And this is a chance to also put in those ideas for each other. I see some ideas coming in for Reggie. I see some ideas coming in from everyone. Mary Sage, I'm going to start with you. What's your takeaway?
I'm swirling a little bit, just kind of receiving, and lots of ideas going in lots of different directions. So I don't know if I have real clarity, but it's been nice to just kind of listen in.
Is the screenshotting helping you? Do you screenshot?
I don't. I journal and take notes.
Oh, so you take notes. Yeah, yeah. And in your notes, do you take a little bit of notes, a lot of bit of notes?
I take really random notes that have just like little bits of information and ideas that go into there's a lot of like mind mapping that happens in the notes.
Yeah. So you're already going towards execution, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And that is what you're taking away, right? How do I take the creative idea in, right? And then how do I give it a tool, right? That's your tool. You have a tool with you right there. And then in the moment, let me map out as much as I can. So there's the takeaway that you can give everybody, right? Is how do you get through all this information and get it to go where you got to go? Good tool. Okay, working well. Brian Kelly, what are you taking away today?
Sorry, I'm here. So my takeaway is, all right. So my takeaway is just utilizing my star qualities, my star talents, and applying them to my marketing and sales strategy in a way that's, consistent, repeatable, deliverable, and then also like up in my game. I have, I got some great ideas about some of the next events I'm going to do. I'm going to limit it to a number of kids, right? Boom. 10 kids. First 10 applied, get to come. And then I'm going to do an add-on. Boom. All 10 kids get a surprise bag. And every bag includes a gift, So I get all this buzz around my programs, and then, sometimes I get 10, 12, 15, but I want to do a solid 10, and I want those 10 to know, bam, you're executing, you're paying within 24 hours, and you're ready to go. So those are the takeaways that I have. It's just my execution. I'm going to make it much more commoditized. And then that way we don't have to worry about it. Boom, you 10 got in, you paid, and if people cancel or can't make it, then we can make some concessions for
the 10 that opt in they won't not make it.
Yeah. True.
They'll sell their ticket before they not come.
Right. There you go. So you're
they'll
right.
Sell their ticket. Elton John's tour, right? I mean, come on.
Right.
If you weren't going to make it,
you're right.
going to make sure somebody
I got it. You always give me a good feedback in that point too. So yes, that's the way I'm gonna go about it.
Okay, I think that's great advice for you. Can I add one more thing to that for you? Is I think that your stars are those young entrepreneurs. I mean, you're building stars.
Right.
So
focus
on their star story.
Yeah, you should see the last girl who won. It was so wonderful to see.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of her. She's so good.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Right. Let her be. She's your star. You're a star that makes stars.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. I love it. Sandy, what is your takeaway?
Well, I don't have any brilliant new ideas, but one of the things that you just talked about was what can you execute at a moment's notice? And I was even thinking about that yesterday because I had a friend and she's got a couple of investment properties here in the city, and she's always very thoughtful, and she's really very analytical and careful about everything that she does financially. And so she's looking for an attorney or a business consultant to help her know if she should put these into LLC, should she sell them, should she keep renting them out, what's the best thing to do. So I found some people for her to talk to. I found the perfect attorney for her to talk to. And then the attorney said, but you should also talk to Sandy about selling your place. So I'm like, okay, you can call me. So then, we just chatted about that. And, I just have ability because of my years of experience to just spout out, my opinions and good things to think about. So the tangible, I think the thing that she glommed onto the most of what I said was, because it's really all her decision and it depends on her goals. And I spell all that out. But it was like the one thing I think she really liked that I said was the best time to sell is in the spring. So if you're really, like, I don't know if this year's better or if next year's going to be better, like playing the market in real estate, it's just people get lucky, they get lucky. But the spring market's always better than the winter market. So she's like, okay, that was really helpful. But, if people call me all the time with questions about, should I do this home improvement? Am I going to get my money back? And, I can just quickly give them a good advice about all that stuff. And so people call me a lot with their questions. And so I like that.
Can I go out on a limb here with you? Okay, I'm going to open this up to everybody. Everybody type in the question that you actually think that you'd love to have Sandy answer for you. Like everyone here has one. From the realtor who is having the best year, everyone has a question. And I'm willing to bet it's around it, exactly what she said, a property, a this, a that, do you know a handyman? Just type in the question that you wish Sandy would have known for you. And it'll be very fun to see what comes into the comments section because everyone has a question for you. And I think that is a commodity. I think having a Q&A would be a powerful tool. So
my real quick, Mickey, my realtor, one of them that I use on her TikToks and her Instagram, she has a session every day. She says, ask the questions that people ask me. And she does a little music and she points to the question and she answers it, from the silliest questions to the best questions. And it's totally cool. Like, totally cool. I could see her monetizing that.
So if I could share one thing, and thank you, Nikki. So every week I have to write an article for my e-newsletter. And every month I have to write articles for the mailing that I do. And I sit there and go, oh, what should I write about? And in my newsletters, I have asked people, please send me your real estate questions, and nobody ever does. So I would love to see all your questions in the chat here. Please put your questions in there, because I want to answer. It gives me ideas. I have my own ideas, but I've already answered them. But thank you, Jamie. And that was a really good suggestion. I like that. If it was a suggestion, I'll take it.
It is a question. And I think that's where you guys can also be really helpful for Sandy, because it could come up in her newsletter. So you could actually get that question answered for a bunch of different people. I think that would be great.
Is
Reggie,
Sandy going to get the link from Jamie in of the example so she can see it?
Say again?
Is Sandy going to get the realtor in Jamian's area who does the Q&As, and so Sandy can see what she's talking about?
Yeah, Jamian, if you happen to know that TikTok address or whatever, send it in. If you know who that realtor is, so she can see the work. Reggie, tell us what you're taking away.
Well, Jamian has given me quite a few incredible ideas, things that I plan to input and what I try to do from this point forward. But the biggest thing that I'm taking away is something that you've quoted. No more 0 days. And the time is now. I find myself overthinking too many things, and I try to be too perfect with everything I do, just being afraid of making mistakes and stuff like that. So sometimes I find myself putting things off because I am overthinking too much instead of just going. So yeah, I like the statement, and I have it written down in a huge way. No more 0 days, and
no more 0 days.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And I will be happy to send you that image to haunt you.
Gotcha.
Of my face telling you no more 0 days.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, good. Danny, what are you taking away today?
I am taking away that my star has always looked like Ms. Frizzle, and I kind of just need to remember to own it. To take chances and make mistakes and just get messy and own the chaos that I show the world. One thing I really did take away from today and my trip is that I love wearing crazy dresses. And I really need to just own the fact that I have several dinosaur dresses and ones with planets on them, and just start walking around like Ms. Frizzle.
Yep. And for those of you who don't know who Ms. Frizzle is, tell us.
Magic School Bus.
Okay. The Magic School Bus. It is. Danny grew up to be the Magic School Bus, Ms. Frizzle. It's fantastic.
And if you know who Doctor Who is, Ms. Frizzle is a Time Lord. So I will forever be a superhero. That's how I live my life now.
That is super helpful. That is super helpful.
I just want to tell Brian Kelly that he's a black hole in the event horizon for his new stars. Like he's that is his program, is their event horizon. They come out the other side a star. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, that is great. That is great feedback. Great feedback. Okay, Miss Hall, what are you taking away?
Yeah, kidding me? Holy cow. Hang on, I wrote them down. Sorry. So number one, find out who you are. I love that superpower thing, compelling and interesting, something that people will notice. Make sure you know what that is. Too much is too much. I'm sort of always kicking things up a notch, squirrel, so I gotta stay focused. And I gotta write down the 10 people who really want me. I've never thought about that, who want me to succeed. They are my partners. I'm totally doing that. And I love the question, what are you willing to learn endlessly? Answer that. I am, because I love to learn everything all the time. I'm like always, so I gotta get focused. And I love that art is a tool that has transformed neurotic energy, because I am neurotic lately. So create. And I know that just from a spiritual perspective, we are pure creativity. That's what our souls are. And unless and until we actually engage in that from the passion that comes within us, we can't be our full selves, whatever that creativity is. Whatever. So I know that. So I got to, and my favorite one is the one that Reggie just pointed out. I have to commit to working on this dream every day, because I avoid, I put off, I can find another squirrel, to do something else. So the biggie for me was knowing what my superpowers are and how I want to monetize it. But I got to learn tactics. Holy shit, I got to learn tactics, and I got a potty mouth. So sorry.
We love it. We love it. So do I. Donna McCurdy, what are you taking away today?
Well, excellent. I finally, Nancy and I have exchanged phone numbers. So we meant to do that back in January, and now we finally have done that today.
Oh, good.
And so she and I have a lot to talk about. I too am taking away the no 0 days. Like, I don't know why usually the positive, do something every day is more effective for me, but for whatever reason, that negative space of no 0 days is I'm hearing that better. And my low hanging.
And Donna, I'll give you the same offer if you would like that image to hang at your desk.
I guess so. That's what I need.
It's Mickey Micworth looking at you all the time.
Oh my gosh. So my low hanging fruit is to pursue the soccer bird's birthday party, have a soccer bird's birthday party, major price point options with that idea.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's a good offer. It's a good offer. Mm-hmm. Okay, Rebecca Mundahl, what are you taking away?
I'm taking away, I guess it's actually like the most basic thing, which is just A Star is Born Ready. And recently I kind of spent my whole life like really betting on myself. And recently I've been having some kind of crises of faith. And it was nice to hear this today. It's funny because I recently just heard it from like somebody I kind of look up to was talking about, like, you have to bet on yourself if you want to do it. It's the hardest thing you're going to do, but you have to bet on yourself if you're going to like fulfill your things. And so kind of hearing that again today was really good. And interestingly, right at the end, I had a really good idea because I've just been feeling like not inspired. And that's been really hard. And right at the end, I had a really good idea, which was for me, it's the thing I'm feeling really most passionate right now is like healing from wellness, like healing from the wellness industry, and how the wellness industry actually kind of implants really disordered ideas about our bodies and our health. And so I was like, yeah, that's what I care about. So anyways, so new idea, which is exciting.
New idea. See how fun it is to be around?
Mm-hmm.
See? I love it. I love it. Janet Mills, what's your walk away?
Well, I'm going to go with no more 0 days. Do something every day that leads to your target. And then I have lots to figure out. And then I'm going to go with the swirling thing. All the ideas are swirling, but this was a natural day. Like learning all these things felt like it came more naturally than other times.
Good. And you're a journaler.
I have a long way to go.
But you take notes too, right?
Oddly enough, yeah. And screenshots. Because your things are so beautiful.
Thank you. A lot of those are my own pictures. So
yeah.
Thank you. Another way to use our creativity. For those of you who don't know, that Janet Mills is often my accomplice for photography, is that I will call her up with an idea that says, I've got a bag of bird feed. I need you to watch over me while I watch, while I try to take a picture. And there we were in Kmart parking lot. I'm throwing bird seed over my head, and all this like thousands of pigeons are coming down.
And Mickey puts out the call. You got to answer.
Right. Please watch over me.
There's another arm in there I realize it's Sandy, and then it's mine because I have the photo. Of
Shakina, yeah.
So I have on it's a product I bought in Berlin. It's recycled metal watch bands that are stretchy, and then they're painted with patterns. And then someone has a Apple Watch, and I don't. So it's three different hands
in that. Yes,
three hands of love.
Caitlin Mariah. That is Caitlin Mariah.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. Jamie, and what's your walk away? Besides your great hair, gosh, we've watched the whole process.
My walk away was one is I got in this Black Girl Magic real quick. You guys got to see it from beginning to end today.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Right. I think we should put that in the subcategory once it goes up on YouTube and be sure to watch how great Jamien's hair looks by the end.
My walk away was that I feel like I've gotten pieces of what we got today, and it clicked in a different level, like that I really am doing the work that I need to do. I show up. There's been no 0 days for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Even I work on vacations. The only time that I'm not working is me dating myself once a week. And even that has turned into, I've been creating content for a vlog to monetize that too. So I felt like it clicked a little bit better today. And I actually felt like it was like almost like reconfirming what the work that I'm doing, but also I felt really, really good feeling like I could add to like, it works and that it just works. So like, I'm happy to give you those suggestions. Who did I give those suggestions to?
Oh, so many.
Reggie, I'm happy to give you the suggestion too, but I literally got those here. So just so we're clear, those came from here being here. So I'm a star. I came out as a star. I've always walked into my starness. I use excellence. When I make my reservations, and I made my new intern when she's making my dinner reservations to put my name as Excellence Jones, because it just sounds like it needs a conversation. And everybody asks me every time I show up, "Is that your name really? Did your mom?" I'll be like, "Yes," because she knew I was going to be excellent all my life.
That's the best word. That almost makes me want to leave Star. So if we could just make reservations at the same time in the same restaurant, right? To go, I'm sorry, is Excellence going to be there? Because the Star needs to sit next to Excellence.
Right.
Oh, and Brian Kelly's got his Star. That's great. Shakina, what are you walking away with today? Did I already call on you? No, yeah. What are you walking away with?
Okay, so first I'm walking away with a playlist for today for my birthday. I created a playlist for myself. I wrote some things down to listen to for inspiration and stuff today. But definitely, I have never been basic. So when I was younger, I didn't like that I wasn't basic. As I got older, of course, I understood that it was okay to not be basic, and I probably went that direct. I was probably always going in the opposite direction of everyone else intentionally. But the biggest thing that I got was that I'm okay. I think for a long time, I've been in this struggle with me and time. And, I'm 45 and I feel like I'm just really getting started. And I think I've been harping on myself really badly about all the things that I put first before now. But today I feel okay. I feel okay that I've done that. I don't feel this race with time that I usually feel because I'm getting older and I haven't done all the things that I wanted or needed to do and that I didn't even realize that I wanted or needed to do.
That's powerful, right? About the age thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What a change. What a change. And that's perfect time for Karen Karsten to chime in. Karen Karsten, what are you taking away from today? And you can speak.
Well, I'm taking away a lot of things. First of all, this was just a bucket of fun. I mean, everybody is just up and that's great. And it's never too late. I'm 78 years old. I'm still very curious. I'm still in fairly good health, and I'm looking forward to everything that's going to happen. But I have one thing to say, and more than one, but for you perfectionists out there, I want you to remember that perfectionism is the ugly stepsister of procrastination. So every time you think you're being perfect, you're really just putting it off. So when you look at perfection, look at an ugly stepsister that's telling you, oh, you can do that tomorrow, or you can do that next week. So that's the only time frame you need to worry about is what you're putting on yourself. But it's been just so much fun to hear everybody's stories, and it's keep going. You're getting there.
Yeah. Well, again, I thank you for honoring me and honoring yourselves for being here. It is never not just spiritually fulfilling to watch you grow. I mean, it is, and I talk to a lot of you outside of here, so it's the real deal. I thank you so much for just being you and spending time with me.
Oh, Mickey is going to give me her photo.
Oh yes, I'll send out the 0 days. Absolutely.
Yes, I can. If you give it to me, I can send it out with the YouTube video.
Oh, perfect. So it'll come to everybody.
Yeah.
See, Karen always makes things happen. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. You are my star. You can always text me. Again, Reggie, you have my number, right? So text me today so I know it's you.
Happy birthday, Shakina.
And happy birthday, Shakina.
Yeah.
Happy
Does anybody want to say
birthday
happy
to
birthday?
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shakina. Happy birthday to you.
My soul is shining, you guys. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mickey. Thank you,
Thank you.
Karen.
Thanks,
Oh my
Mickey.
God. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Damien, look like a model now.
Yeah, Jamie's a model now.
That's too funny.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Mickey Mikeworth, I have a question.
Okay.
On the
You want to stop recording?
yeah, I'm going to stop recording.